Hello folks, Rick Hinder here. So today I want to talk about the first project for the Blade Show that we'll be debuting, and that is the hollow grind that we just started doing on our slicer grind. Okay, let's talk about the hollow grind, or what you could call a concave type grind. The difference between that and like a flat grind, which is what in the past, all of our production knives has been kind of like, it's a flat type grind from the top, which is the top of the blade or the grind line down to the cutting edge. And then you have your secondary grind, which is actually the sharpened edge. On a hollow grind or a concave type of a grind, it's actually more, if you can see that, it's more of a, well, we call it a hollow, but it's more of it gets thinner as it gets down towards the edge. So why would I want that on certain types of blade shapes, like especially the slicer? Well, mainly it's going to be to give you a little bit thinner edge, a little bit thinner material behind the edge. And also your slicing ability goes up a little bit, again, because of that. When you're cutting something like a tomato, cucumber, or even you're skinning, the way that the hollow comes down when you're slicing the material, you've got less friction actually, because on a flat grind you're like this. So as you're cutting down through, it's going to contact the material as it's being cut. Think of a ship going through the water, the bow, the way it separates the water out. It's almost the exact same way when you're cutting. So the friction is going to be less because you're thinner behind the edge before it hollows out. So actually, if you kind of think about that, the hollow of a ship's bow cutting through the water is really almost the same thing. So that's kind of a little bit of an explanation on the hollow grind and how it's being applied in our knives. So anyway, I hope you guys can understand that. See me at the show and I'll try to explain it a little bit better. So why did I want to do that, and what are the advantages and drawbacks? The drawbacks I feel on a hollow grind is a little bit less sectional density in your blade. So in other words, it's not going to be as tough, and we're splitting hairs here. It's not going to be as tough side to side as you would with a flat grind. However, given that, are we giving up any with our new slicer grind, hollow grind that we're doing at Rick Hinder Knives? I don't believe so, because of the fact that I chose a very slight hollow. So when you first look at it, I have one here. When you first look at it, it's not going to be a readily apparent hollow grind like you see on a lot of knives, like I do when I make a custom knife, when I utilize a hollow grind. So the hollow is a lot more, I would say, not as hollowed out. So we used a larger diameter wheel, which gives us a slight hollow. So you're getting the benefit of a hollow grind as far as the slicing ability goes up, but we're not sacrificing any of the sectional density because of the fact that it's a slight hollow. It's not a real deep. So also I want to add that the new hollow grind will only be available on our slicer model. So the XM18 3.5 inch, 3-edge, the XM24 slicer, as well as the Eclipse slicer. So from now on, I really feel that's a great grind for that model. It'll only be offered in that model, and from now forward, all of the slicers will be in the new hollow grind. So that being said, all of the other grinds, all the other blade shapes, the Spanto, the Bowie, the Warncliffe, etc., all those are still going to be made just like they've always been made with the production flat grind. So again, folks, this is the first video of the first of the new really exciting products that we're going to be offering at the Blade Show this year. It's going to be a fantastic show. So please stop by the booth. It's right inside the front door. Turn to your left. You can't miss it. We're going to have a ton of stuff, especially the new products that's coming out. So see you all Blade Show.